y'all. What's up? It's Latrice, your Live Your Best Life coach. What's going on with my, okay, I think we're good now. Y'all know how I am with technology, and I don't try to hide it, because at the end of the day, if I keep doing this, I might get better. How are you this morning, guys? I'm in my kitchen, having my cup of coffee, and I had a little situation this morning that I want to talk to my Facebook friends about, in particular my sisters. My sisters. I don't care if you are sister or sister, however you choose to regard yourself. It's time for us to talk, ladies, because I like that lighting right there. I'm changing the lighting with you. I feel real personal with you guys. But anyway, if you're tuning in to me for the very first time, hey, Sandy. Hi, honey. If you're tuning in to me for the very first time, I am Latrice Levitt. I am your Live Your Best Life coach, because that's really what we're on this earth to do. It may not feel like it, but that's what we're here to figure out how to do, right? And my purpose is to kind of give away love. I gave my life and my heart to God and say, hey, what's the purpose you have for me? Because when I was trying to do it for myself, I kept bumping up against the wall and failing at it. So I was like, I surrender. What do you want me to do with your people? He said, go out and love them and show them how to love them and show them what love is so we can get this thing together here called Earth, right? So I wanted to come on here today because I have something that's pretty important for women, right? But I think men, you should probably listen to it too if I come across your page, right? So every day now, if you are a Facebook friend of mine, I do something that my dad did for me on my birthday. So every year when he was on the radio, he would sing happy birthday to myself and other members of our family as his way of, honoring us. And as I am dealing with the realities of what's happening in my personal life with my father, I am just really appreciating that kind of love. And I extend it to people. So I'm not going to be calling you singing happy birthday, but you are going to get a personal message from me if you are my Facebook friend, right? And it's coming from the heart because I think personal birthdays, messages, can really be a really special way to honor somebody. So I've been doing this now for a few weeks, and I called someone today, and guess what, guys? I have both women and men Facebook friends, but I have 5,000. So I don't know where all these people come from, but they are God's children, so I just do the same thing. So I must have left a message for a gentleman whose wife checks his messages, which is cool. They married, they do what they do. So when he received the message, I don't know if he let her hear it or if she just was going through and listened to it, and she decided to call me. And I don't necessarily, I'm busy like all of you. I don't take all the calls because it's not necessarily an attempt for us to, I'm giving, you know what I mean? I'm just giving. Hey, live your best life. Happy birthday. Happy you were born. All of that shit. Excuse me. I say bad words every now and then. So anyway, I didn't pick up the phone because I was in the middle of a project. But what she did was she texted me a messenger and said, bitch, I'm his wife, and God bless that. All I have to say is she better be so happy I am healed and whole. See, that's why I went and got my life together, because in another time in my life, all I have to say is, it would not have worked well. It would not have worked out well for her. Because while I am now in the process of depositing good in people's lives, there was a time where I had so much pain where if she would have projected that toward me, I would have instantly, she would have triggered the south side of Chicago in me. She would have remembered me for the rest of her life. My tongue would have went there because I don't even know who this guy is. I just know that we somehow ended up being Facebook friends. like this, bitch, I'm his wife. And she said it in a text. So what I did, because I don't want to cause domestic disturbance, I don't want to cause strife. Ain't no telling what this man is going to go through if he's living with a woman who heard in my voice that all I was doing was saying, happy birthday, live your best life. But she's living with so much pain that another woman calling him made her obviously arrive at the point that I wanted her husband. Now, she's not by herself. I have been a black woman all my life, and I know how we get down sometimes. And that's why I wanted to come on here, because, sisters, there was a time when I was in a very painful place, and I didn't necessarily trust women. I didn't trust black women. I didn't trust white women. I didn't trust Hispanic women. I didn't trust women. And let me tell you where that stems from. Some woman in my life hurt me, and I didn't forgive them, and I was going to make sure that that would never happen to me again. And I was carrying this pain all around me. Now, what I mean by that, everybody got to walk this planet. So I know, I don't care how many times somebody asks you how you doing and you say you fine, all y'all ain't fine. All y'all not good. Nah. All y'all are not living your best life. That's why you got a coach here. But I know that pain came from somewhere. It could have come from, ladies, from your mother. How many of you guys really, be honest here. Ain't no sense in us lying. Ain't no future in your fronting. Y'all remember that song? Ain't no future in your fronting. How many of y'all been hurt by your mothers or your stepmothers or another family member, your sisters? How many of y'all been bullied by other women? How many of you have been in a relationship and the downfall of that relationship was another woman? Right? How many of you have gone to school and you were the excellent, smart, cute, popular girl, and you attracted some bullies because they mad at you because you look like that and they look like that? Or they decided that they didn't want to be their best and they mad at you because you decided you wanted to be your best, and that made them so uncomfortable that you became a target because they won't deal with theirs. Okay? We can't keep pretending like this shit is okay. All right? Because we're living in a day and age, people, where there are so many people who are carrying pain, and you not dealing with yours and throwing it out there on somebody else could result in some real dangerous stuff right now. Okay? Really. And I'm going to tell you this. It does not help that majority of our reality shows are filled with women who are hurting each other. We feeding this stuff. We are feeding this toxicity. And this is a warning because I want you to understand that this stuff is all around us, feeding the dysfunction. This is dysfunctional. I call to give somebody who I don't know authentic, unconditional love, acknowledging their birthday. And his woman called me to curse me out. I'm not a victim. I ain't tripping on her. I'm praying for her. I'm really praying for her. Thank you, Cornito, because here's the reality of it. You can't touch God's anointed and get away with it. I said that. You cannot come after God's anointed and think that that's going to work out well for you. I don't have to lash her with a word. I don't have to come back on her. We don't have to go back and forth, because here's what you don't really understand. Ladies and gentlemen, you are a creative force. And just because you don't know your power, and just because you may not know how your power actually activates itself to come back and hurt you, I do. I'm here to introduce you and help you learn how to manage this stuff so you can use your power to work for you as opposed to sabotage you. Because whatever she came at for me, I'm only doing what God told me to do. But guess what's going to come back in some kind of way to impact her? I'm praying for her because that energy that came toward me, there's a response for it. That's why, let me tell you, my life coach Jesus, when he was laying on that cross, he said, God, forgive them, for they know not what they do, because he knew God was going to handle it. And he was even on the last words of his, before he left the planet, he was asking for mercy. Sisters, whether you look at that from a sister or a sister, we got to get better. Because God is blessing a lot of women right now. Every time I turn on my television, every one of my channels look like BET. I've never seen so many black people, if they weren't on BET or one of these other channels that we own, on television. What does that mean? We are being promoted in the land. You see more black businesses being led by women. You see more women being promoted to top positions. You're seeing women winning, yes! But here's where you're gonna lose. If you are being exalted into a position and you're not dealing with your pain, see, you can't escape. You can't, honey, let me just tell you this. This is a time of truth. And love is the only thing that can cast out all fear. Okay? And I'm not going to go too deep with you because what I'm learning more and more is that people really don't know what real love is. Well, if you've never been taught it, then here's the time that I'm going to invite you to get to know it. Because what I want you to do, ladies, as you're being exalted, is deal with your issues that you have with other women. Everybody don't want your husband or your boyfriend. Everybody not coming after you. Everybody not jealous of you. All of us out here that's of your same sex, it's not out here to hurt you. It's time for you to release the pain. And there are so many of us who are taking in this energy that's the way you go deal with people. That is going to sabotage everything you're trying to build, okay? If you are a single mother and you ain't dealing with your pain, you're probably hurting your kids with it. And maybe you're only doing it because your mother did that to you. If you are in a business and you have to interact with other women and you have not dealt with your pain from somebody who may have been the reason why your marriage didn't work out, or somebody back in high school that used to bully you, or somebody, or maybe you taking on the persona of one of these entertainment figures that's teaching you that you a savage. Nah, baby. We got to stop being savage. I love the dope beat. I love to dance. I love creative expression. But when things like this are going in continuously poisoning our minds and our hearts against each other, that's what God is trying to correct right now. And that's why I wanted to come on here, because I know what it's like to live in that pain. I know what it's like not to live in a state of trust. And the only reason why you don't trust people, the only reason why you have these problems with dealing with women is because you looking on the outside and what they're doing, and they really are mirroring back to you. Really, they are a reflection of something that you are not dealing with. Did you hear what I said? She ain't the problem. That pain inside of you is the problem. And I'm not going to blame you, because who taught us how to process pain, ladies and gentlemen? Where did they teach that in school? Who taught you how to do anything more than get over it? Who taught you to do anything more but to ignore it? Who taught you to do anything more but to pretend like it's not there? Who taught you how to do anything more but have pride and walk around like you better than people? Who taught you to do anything more than to go buy Louis Vuitton and some red bottoms and wear weave all the way down the floor and go get you some eyelashes to slap people in the face in order to ignore it, okay? And I'm not saying this, I'm doing this in exaggeration. But what I'm simply saying is, baby, you cannot continue to lie to yourself and hurt others with your pain. And if you're hearing the sound of my voice and you're connecting with this, don't run away from it. Here's an opportunity. Here's an invitation. Here's a way for you to really get down with and learn from a real sister who wants to help you, who want to support you towards your healing, who wants you to win. Because you can build what you think an empire on pain, and baby, it's going to be a house of cards. You are now in a spiritual time of harvest. Okay? Yes, Cornita said, unfortunately, men don't always share with their mates, other female associates that they have contact. Yes, I get that. You're absolutely right. But here's the thing, and there's a lot of women that stay in relationships with men who don't have integrity, who is out here sleeping with the next woman, who've given them a reason to question. But here's what I also need to say to you. Women who might be in that position, if you are in a position, meaning if you are in a relationship with somebody that you can't trust, either do one or two things. Either number one, you're going to forgive him and be in that relationship and figure out how to release it, or you need to perhaps leave that relationship if he's not worthy. If he cannot be the man that respects you, that loves you, that operates in integrity. Don't take your pain and hurt another woman with it. That's not her fault. That's your fault. Okay? You don't have to be on the lookout trying to figure out if somebody about to snatch yours. Now, let me also say this. It's an opposite side of this. There's some women out there, they own the prey for yours. Whatever yours is. Your looks, your money, your success, your light, because they're hurting. But when it's really yours, ain't no weapon can stand. There's no weapon that can form, that can ever take it away when it's yours. And if you are carrying this stuff, you are really the one in prison. You are really the one in prison. Okay? So I called her back because I wanted to clear up whatever the misconception was in my intention, because that had nothing to do with me. And God protected me so much that they couldn't hear me. No, I couldn't hear them, but they could hear me. I was trying to hear them, but God said, nope, you ain't got to hear that. Just give love and set the record straight. I know there's a lot of us out here, y'all, that are walking in old stuff or even present day stuff, and we don't know what to do with it. We don't know how to release it. We don't know how to surrender it. We don't know how to forgive it. And you walking around with so much toxicity because you're afraid of what this woman's intention is. We'll deal with men later. What this woman's intention is, or you feeling a certain kind of way about what she has, comparing it to what you have. Everything you need is inside of you. Everything you need is inside of you. And what I mean by that is you using that energy to hurt another woman, first of all, it's going to come back to you. It's going to come back in some way, okay? I don't wish that for you. Number one, you are living in emotional You're living in emotional incarceration because your mother, your grandmother, your sister, a cousin, somebody did. And I know it's some low down stories. I mean, I grew up in the era of talk shows. All things outside of Oprah was about scandalous things that women have been doing to each other. The mother sleeping with, the daughter's husband. I mean, all kinds of Jerry Springer kind of stuff. Whether it was true or not, there are some things that has gone on that has been low down in people's lives. But when we going to get over it? When are we going to get over it? When are we not going to get over it, like ignore it? When are we going to release it and grow to the next level? Ladies, we are now at a time in history where we have more than we've ever had before, particularly if you're living in this country, in America. But with that responsibility, to whom much is given, much is required. And what we must do to honor the calling that is on your life is be courageous enough to go in and do some internal work. Your mother didn't have a life coach because, quite frankly, coaching is relatively new, generally, like maybe in the last 30 or 40 years and generally, but in terms of our community, that's something that's kind of new to us. Many of us been taught not to talk about what goes in this house stays in this house. So you got a whole bunch of demons you fighting because somebody told you if you say anything about it, then the whole world is going to fall apart. No, what they taught you is to keep toxicity in your body. And then some of us don't know how to be vulnerable. Okay? Or you were vulnerable and you've been hurt. I get that. It's time to heal it. Don't hurt. Don't project. Don't punish somebody else. Don't walk around in fear. Don't walk around in imprisonment. Baby, it's great to be free. I've been in all of those positions. And if you got a man in your life or a significant other that you can't trust because of their actions, and it keeps happening to you over and over again, that's not their fault. That's yours. If you keep, if that's where you decide to be, okay? Everybody got to be responsible for their participation in craziness. But what I will say to you is this: if you want to win right now, if you truly want to live your best life, I have been blessed to have some of the most incredible women in my life. I have so many damn sisters. God has blessed me with incredible women in all ages of life. And I want to thank each and every one of you who prayed for my family this week, who've extended love. See, that's the kind of energy that builds sustainable relationships. And I hope you guys see me as that. But I wanted to come on here today. I don't know why I have this commercial coming up, y'all. Y'all know I always have to have music in the background, but I'm bound to have a mistake in my technology because that's just part of my life. But here's what I want you to know for sure. I'm here for you, sisters. I really am. And when I call you and give you a personal or birthday message, I just want to let you know that's love that I'm happy to give you, because there are some people who don't get an acknowledgement ever for being here on this planet. And so, men, when you get it, I need you to tell your girlfriends and your wives, I ain't coming for you. God sent me, okay? Women, I want you to love yourself enough not to carry somebody else's pain. It's time for us to start bridging the gaps and start creating bridges with each other, because we all win when we have unity. We all win when we have unity. And maybe you don't know how to forgive it. I get it. Maybe you don't know how to surrender it. I get it. Then you need a coach. Stop saying, I don't know how. You need to invest in a coach. You don't need to go invest in nothing else in your closet. You need to go invest in your healing. And the last thing I want to leave you with today is the man's wife who called me today and displayed her pain as a form of attack. I want you to pray for her. Pray for her. That's a woman that's in pain. I want us to start understanding that we can't act like no savages. Not in this time. We can't adopt the behavior we're seeing from these shows and think that we're going to win. The harvest is here, ladies and gentlemen. And to whom much is given, much will be required. Because as you've heard me say over and over and over again, that there are two of the most dangerous people who could be walking this earth at this time. Let me repeat it. An unempowered woman is one. Because an unempowered woman can be bought. And what that means is she could put herself in a situation where she can be a danger to herself and others, okay? And an empowered woman with a broken heart. So somebody who is at the top, who is broken and won't do anything with her pain, that can be the mother of a household. That can be the head of a church. That can be the head of an institution. That can be a head of a business. Whenever you are in a position to make a decision and you have pain in you, you can't help but see through the filters of that pain. And if pain is directing your decision making, others are going to get hurt. And if others get hurt, God is going to hold you responsible. And I don't want that to happen to you. So if you're ready to drop, release, surrender the pain. If you are ready to grow up and receive everything that God has for you. If you want to build a different relationship with sisters, because if you're at the top, as you see, you're going to be dealing with a lot of them. And if you want to begin to restructure your heart again, rebuild your heart again where you can be free and win, then you need arealsister.com. So I want you to click the link and let's build this new relationship with life. A life where you don't have to be a damn savage and that you can be what you were created to be, darling. A beautiful woman that was created by God to make this earth a better place with you being whole and complete. All right? arealsister.com is where you can find me, and I can't wait to meet you, and I can't wait for us to take this road and go on this journey together where you can love yourself. And when you love yourself, you can love women like me or anybody else. Bye, boo. All right. Take care.